A lot of people last week when we were talking, it was a very, very heated kind of a discussion. Heated not in any personal way, but it was just that so many people had their views about judgments when we were talking about judgments. And somebody used this word, self-bashing. Isn't it right, Vinita?
Yeah.
So somebody used this word,
Yeah,
self-bashing.
absolutely. That's how
And so we
Anjali,
had
yeah,
crossed
correct.
over our time. It went on to beyond 8 o'clock, and that's when I said that why don't we
Correct.
talk about this in the next week? So it's fine. We don't. It's not really a continuity, but it's just something that we all need to be aware of, and it's good to be talking about self-love and honoring and respecting yourself. So yeah, let's make it a little more interactive since we are a nice small group and. People will join in as they do, but do share certain things, or if you agree, disagree, you know, resonate, don't resonate with things that we are sharing and speaking here. Vinita, anything you want to say before we go on?
A very, very warm welcome. And as he's saying that, the smaller the group, I think the energies are absolutely so, interacting on this non-judgmental platform. And when we're talking about self-bashing or self-love, I think, Didi, we have spoken a lot about on this topic earlier also, because despite we talking about confidence and everything, the first person we fall victim is, to ourselves. We self-sabotage our happiness. But I would just want you to maybe make us understand, does this self-sabotage comes because of lack of confidence, or um, the feeling of having validation from others to what we are?
Hmm. Yeah, I understand your question, and I think we don't really realize. So, what happens as children, when we are small, all that we really need is the love of our parents, isn't it? Anything that goes, I mean, if we are doing things which are not so-called right, or if we feel we've done something which is not agreeable or in resonance to what our parents are expecting or telling us to do, we get punished. We get punished as children, and it could be punishment in different ways. Of course, again, I'm talking about a different way in which the present generation is handling the children. But a general thing is, if a child is not following what the parents are saying, the parents withdraw love, you know, and the punishment could be in different ways as to not talking to the child or disconnecting from the child. But basically, when there is sort of a discord between two people or somebody that you love, there is a withdrawal of love, isn't it? The one of you maybe withdraws in your shell, or the parents tell the child that you're not a good child because you've done something wrong. And the biggest fear that the small child has is that the parents will withdraw love, isn't it? So everything that a child is doing, that all of us have done as a child, is basically to seek the love or the validation of our parents, as children in particular, isn't it? Because that's actually what we are really seeking, what a child is seeking. Because for the child, I'm talking about a much smaller age group, it's all about, the parents are everything. There's nothing really more than the love of the parents. As you grow older, of course, your interactions with others increases. And I hear a lot of times, people come to me with the problems in children, and they say that, like, she doesn't have friends, she's not able to make friends, or she's bullied in school, or all the friends are going out and they are meeting, but she always feels left out. So what is it? This is also in a way withdrawal of love, isn't it? You're feeling that I'm not good enough, so I'm not part of the group. I'm not good enough, so my parents don't love me. I'm not good enough, so this sort of negativity is happening in my life, or I cannot get what I'm really seeking. So that's when we start, even in our own thoughts, the sabotage starts, isn't it? We feel that, yeah, we are not good enough, or we have done something wrong, or I mean, the thought just starts to happen that I'm not capable of this, or I'm not deserving of love, isn't it? I hope I'm getting I'm getting across what I'm trying to say. And as we keep growing, that imprint somewhere develops or sort of gets so deep in our subconscious. And the first person, when something goes against us, supposing we are not able to sort of get admission in a particular college, or we've not, achieved something that we are working towards, because before we get into relationships and all, the biggest thing is our achievements in our academics and in our career. What do we feel? We feel, oh, I've not got this because I don't deserve it. There are other people who are better off, who are more deserving. So they have a better background, they've studied in a foreign university, or they have parents who put some kind of a approach to it, whatever might be the reason for it. But you feel rejected, right? You feel rejected, and you may say a few things outside, but internally you are bashing yourself up, isn't it? You're bashing yourself up. Why couldn't you pick yourself up? It's my life, my destiny. I'm always, down in the dumps. Things never turn around or happen in the way that I want them to happen. So we start, in a way, self-sabotaging ourselves, and that leads to low self-esteem, not feeling good about yourself. And it's not necessary always that low self-esteem and self-confidence go hand in hand. You might be presenting yourself outside very confidently in a very, very, wonderful way, but internally you are feeling horrible about yourself. You're feeling horrible about your life, isn't it? That's what we call as self-bashing, or self-sabotage, self-punishment, self-limitation. All these terms are, they're coming so easily through me because this is what I actually find in a lot of people, especially in when I do SRT clearings. And then what happens is, when you keep going in with that mindset and you keep living with that thing, it pulls you down. It pulls you down. And then all the past stories, all the past events where you have not been successful, or you felt that, you're not good enough, they all gather together, and it builds further resentment, mostly for ourselves or for, the way my life is. And then it definitely manifests in the body in different ways. And all these lifestyle diseases, or diseases like, illnesses, all of them start to come. So what we are trying to do through these talks, or through these meditations, through these alternative therapies, is help you understand that it is not your fault. It is just what it is. It is nobody's fault. It is nobody's fault. You know, it is just what it is. And let's learn to accept things just the way they are. It is not your fault. You were not meant for that job, or that relationship was not meant to work out. If somebody has rejected you, or somebody has, broken off in a relationship, it was just meant to be that way. And it is only to help you, to teach you to stand up, speak up for yourself, accept that this is not how it was meant to be. And as much as you might be, heartbroken, or you might be feeling extremely low, or you might be feeling depressed, understand that, by you feeling low or depressed, you cannot change the situation. You're only making your life hell for yourself. You're only making your life hell for yourself. Yes, if you feel, if you it's very natural for you to feel that sadness or that grief or whatever, but just know that this is how it was meant to be. And pray for the strength to come out of it. Pray for the strength to move on in life. And you can, once you are firm in your heart, you can definitely move ahead. You will be fully supported by people around you, by situations, by the universe, in which way, God knows. So have that, look at the situation that this is how it was meant to be. Don't judge yourself or judge that situation as a big marker in your life that is going to pull you down. Anything as acute or as, traumatic as it might be, we have the ability to deal with it, to sort of get over it, and not make it a story or a thing in our lives which has pulled us down, and so life is just worthless. Does it make sense?
Yeah, but I have something, related to what we were discussing last time also. It talks about, are we not looking at validation from others? Because the moment we do not get a validation of about ourselves from others, so the story begins in our head. We start judging ourselves, or we say, "Hamara hi fault tha. I think I am not good enough." So I think in the life that we are in right now, I'm not sure if it stems from the conditioning of the childhood, or possibly, our
Yeah,
earlier
you
lives.
are right.
So it just
Sorry, go ahead, Vinita.
no, I was just saying it just kind of, puts us back into that self-sabotage mode ki sab galti hamari hai. And sometimes, Didi, I also think that a lot of times because we don't have the strength to point fingers at somebody else, ki, okay, we could have done this way, we try and take all the blame on ourselves. That, okay, let's have harmony. And then what
I know
happens
what
is
you.
we are,
But it's not about blaming someone or blaming yourself. No? That's exactly what I'm saying. We have to not blame others or blame ourselves because this is how it was meant to be. Till the time we are trying to blame, find a reason why this happened, it should have done, it couldn't have happened in any other way. It had to happen this way. Like I said, there are no two ways in life. We think if I had done it the other way, I would have been successful. You were not meant to do it the other way. If you had to do it the other way, it would have happened the other way. You were meant to go through this failure. You were meant to go through this downfall. You were meant to go through this, this trauma to move ahead in life. So it doesn't happen like that. If you were more careful, if I knew that I had to be more careful, why would I not be more careful? But I could only be to that level because this is what life had in store. This is the plan that was planned for me even before I was born. So when you say, yes, there are two things that you mentioned, and I'm going to address both of them. Surely validation is what we are seeking. But then we have to understand that all this need for validation is all outwardly directed. If someone says I'm good, I'm good. If someone says I'm bad, I'm bad. So where is the remote control of my life? It's all lying outside. Today he says you're good, so you feel very happy. Tomorrow he says you're bad, so you feel sad. And that has nothing to do with you. If he's feeling good or she's feeling good, they'll validate your deeds. If they are feeling horrible, they've had a bad day at work, all your hard work will just be put down the drain. So it is irrelevant. Let's drop this need for validation. If there's anything that you need to validate or pat yourself on the back, you have to do it yourself. Don't keep waiting for somebody to come and pat you on your back. Learn from your own mistakes, forgive yourself, move on. If you feel you've accomplished something but nobody is really even acknowledged, doesn't matter. You pat yourself, you go treat yourself. Don't keep waiting for outside and external validations because that's where we lose ourselves. You remember I give that example in Reiki, one of the principles of Reiki being just for today, I will respect myself and respect others. But it has to start with myself. And I always give this example, that when someone asks you, okay, it's your birthday, where would you like to go for a meal? And what is the first thing that most of us say? Let's go where the children want to go. Let's order what the children want to eat, or where my husband wants to go, or where somebody else, my partner wants to go. You just speak in that way. They'll ask you once, they'll ask you twice, but you'll say, no, it's okay, wherever everybody wants to go. But inside, if you express yourself that, yeah, I really want to go and have, this particular Chinese meal with this new restaurant that has opened. My friends were saying it was very nice. At least say that. You won't say it, you'll say wherever the children want to go, the children will decide to go somewhere, and then you'll say, this is not the place I wanted to eat. This food, I just don't like this food, or I don't enjoy this food. So, and then that leads on to that self-sabotage. I never go to the place where I want to go. I'm never taken to the place that I want to go. It's always children going according to their choice. But express your choice, no? Feel worthy of expressing your choice. We don't feel worthy of expressing our choice. Or then don't mind it. Don't mind where you have gone. Just enjoy yourself. And so that's the first step. Respecting your choices, voicing your choices. You at least say where you want to go. You may still ultimately go where the children want to go, but at least voice it. Then say, okay, I'll go there another time. If all of you want to go there, let's go there. Let's have some fun. At least you've settled it inside. Otherwise, you're just brewing inside. Most of us don't speak. And then it's like, oh, I just didn't want to be here. It's my birthday. I don't even get to go to the place of my choice on my birthday. We do all this self-talk, isn't it? We do all this self-talk. So respect yourself by first saying what you want to say. Feel worthy of saying. Most of us who feel this low self-esteem, most of the people who come to me with low self-esteem never voice what they want to say. They just think about it in their mind, and then they feel nobody loves me, nobody appreciates me. But you've not put yourself out there. You don't feel worthy of being appreciated. You don't feel worthy of that. Then how will it happen to you? So drop that need for validation. And again, I go back to how I started the talk today. That validation comes to us from childhood, doesn't it? When we do something good, we are given a chocolate. When we do something good, people clap for us. Just a small new child who starts to walk or starts to say some words or starts to make a particular expression, the moment the child makes that expression, everybody will clap, everybody will laugh. So what does the child feel? The child feels loved, isn't it? The child feels validated, isn't it? If the child does something wrong, instantly they'll be like, you're not a good child, this is not what you should be doing, and immediately the child gets into guilt because he or she feels, now my parents will withdraw love from me, isn't it? So all this is our upbringing, and I'm not really blaming anybody, because that's how we've brought up our children, that's how we've been brought. But now we have to understand that this is just how, a very unconscious way of dealing with things the way they were, isn't it? Now we say, work on yourself, respect yourself. Even if others don't appreciate you, you appreciate yourself. You validate yourself, isn't it? And that does not mean that you need to go into an arrogant space at all. And it's not difficult. It's not difficult at all. I remember once I mentioned, I think somewhere, probably on this talk or something, don't wait for somebody to send you flowers. I did this once very long back, and I know I've quoted this before. Just, I went for a walk, and there's a florist at the end of our, outside our house, quite a little ahead. And the flowers were so beautiful. So I just told him that, on a certain day, just send this bouquet to my house for myself. And after 2 days, I completely forgot about it. And the next morning, when I just opened the door, there was this bouquet lying. Forget about who has sent it. The flowers just make you feel so nice. Don't wait for somebody to do those things. What you want to do, enjoy yourself. Do what you want to do. Feel worthy of that. Why are you waiting for somebody to send you flowers? Why are you waiting for somebody to take you out? Is it really important? Like a lot of times, we say, I really want to meet a friend. Let's go see a movie. 3 hours you're sitting in a movie hall and you're not really chatting. You're only seeing the movie, or you're not really enjoying each other's company. And I'm not saying you don't enjoy those. But what I mean to say is that if there's nobody there, then you go see a movie yourself. Why do you need to have somebody with you? Do those things that give you joy, that give you pleasure. It wasn't very easy for me to accept these things initially, because some of us are so dependent on, people doing things for you or taking you out. But just change that, just shift that, and see how, how much you'll start appreciating your life, how much you'll start enjoying your life. Do the things that you like, small things. Most of the times we are only brewing inside because we feel nobody really thinks of what I want. Nobody really bothers about me. I worked through the day, I prepared this whole meal, and nobody really even ate it. They just ordered from outside. So don't take all these things personally. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. You enjoy your meal. You enjoyed cooking, isn't it? Yeah, so look at that. And again, I remember once it happened when I was doing probably an SRT session only, and there was this lady who was just not ready to let go of her child. Her son had got married, I think, and he wanted to, move out of the house. And she was totally traumatized. She said, I gave my entire life to this child. I gave up my job. I was such a successful person in an organization, and I gave up my job, and I, sacrificed my entire life. I never got back to my career only because I wanted to give my best to my child. And now when I'm like getting old and I need my child around me, they just want to move out of the house. They don't want to be around. And you start blaming yourself that, they don't like me. they don't appreciate me. But actually, that's not the case. They probably want to move out in their own life. And when we say such things, it just makes, and I told her, I said, is this like a kind of a barter system? You brought that child into the world. You enjoyed mothering him. You enjoyed, looking after your child, seeing him grow, seeing him successful. You put in everything that you wanted to. And now that he's ready to step out, be happy and let him go. Now it is time for him to repay. This is not how life works. It's not a barter system at all. You enjoyed bringing him up for those 15, 20, 30 years. Be proud of yourself of what you did and what you made out of him. And now be ready to move on. And in fact, now you enjoy your life, do all the things that you couldn't do. Probably you cannot go back to your job, but he didn't tell you to leave your job. It was your choice. Isn't it? You wanted to become a mother. You wanted to feel all that, that enjoyment of having a child, bringing up a child, which is just a wonderful thing. So don't, degrade your motherhood because of this. So be very aware of the things that you feel put you down, because it really isn't so. It really isn't so. And the moment you shift your perspective, oh yes, I really enjoyed that child in my house. I really enjoyed how I brought up, this child, and remember all the fun times you had with the child, how anxious you were when he went to school. I mean, there's so many wonderful memories. The moment you put yourself into that, it makes it all so worthy, isn't it? It makes it just so worthy.
Interestingly, when we shift our own energy, magically the energies of others also shift. And you're just like,
Absolutely.
within 5-10 minutes, what has really happened? So it's just that
Yeah.
maybe our energies are like that we start looking.
Yeah, and look at it from a different perspective. See, let me explain one thing. If there is something happening, forget about self-sabotage or forget about anything that we're saying like this. Anything that is happening that is making you feel miserable is not worth it. It is just not worth it. Isn't it? It is just not worth it at all. So look at it. Can I look at it from a different perspective? Can I see something else in this? The moment you start looking at it from a different perspective, it'll open up so many things. We're only looking at it from a limited child. Now this child, he's married. Now, like, it's that whole conditioned way. Now his wife has come, all his attention has gone there. I'm left out. And that's what you're reflecting and putting out. And that's what you'll get. Instead, say, okay, now go, good. I'm free and you are free too. Let me enjoy my life now. And pat yourself. I've done such a wonderful job. I brought up this child. He's now so independent and self-sufficient that he can, fend for himself. And if you let them go, you see the kind of love and respect that you will get, rather than wanting to be clingy and, bind them in this way. I think Praneeth had written something. I missed the chat. Can you just read it out, Vinita? Or Praneeth, you can even ask.
I'm trying to find my own question now. That's the thing. Okay. So my question was like, a lot of people talk about self-love, love yourself. What are they trying to say? And like, what does self-love look like? Like a lot of times people, I have said that to me and I'm like, what are they talking about? Obviously you love yourself, but it keeps coming up. So I'm like, what is it?
So see, when you say that, of course we love ourselves. We always love ourselves. And whatever we are doing, it's like we want to keep ourselves safe, or we want to do things for ourselves, or we want to look after our body. But self-love, I feel, more than just loving yourself, is consciously doing things which you would do for somebody that you love. We always think of doing for somebody that you love and then expecting that in some ways that the other person should be loving me. But do those things, those actions, those thoughts, those things that you like to do. Make a conscious effort. And self-love actually means feeling deserving, feeling worthy of love or being loved. A lot of times we feel in relationships that, oh, my partner doesn't love me, or my child doesn't love me, or whatever, my parents don't love me. But actually that is not true. The void is within me. I'm not feeling worthy of that love. That is why I get that from the other person, because those are the kind of vibrations that I'm sending out. And I'm not saying that they love you or they don't love you, but because that is not so important. The more important thing is that I love myself, and I will not allow myself to fall into something which is not, say, healthy for me in a lot of ways. So I will shift my focus, and we call this, like we say, there's self-sabotage. There's also self-preservation. Sometimes we need to withdraw from relationships because we know that they are sabotaging us. We know that those relationships are totally, draining me, and I'm not able to handle it. So maybe I just need to withdraw. So that is self-preservation. I need to cut off from this job because it's just ruining my life. That is self-preservation. And self-forgiveness. Getting out of any forms of guilt, any of these negative emotions that drain me, or self-blame, or self-bashing that, nothing good is there in my life, or anything. It can be, the mind has so many reasons. For everybody, it brings up thousands and thousands of different reasons. Self-love is just that, according to me. Let's hear from others. What does self-love mean to you?
See, a couple of episodes back, somebody also mentioned that we should do something on creating boundaries. So I think self-love and having our own boundaries, as what you said, self-preservation, isn't it so all connected?
Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. When you feel that this relationship is not serving me, whether it is with a person, whether it is a job, whether it is, so many things, it could be in any place, in any aspect of your life. You need to just step back and draw those healthy boundaries. It's like how when you get into addiction, why do we tell young people to, stay away from certain boys or stay away from certain girls, don't get into that company. It's just an addiction, at that age when children are trying certain things, or somebody who is addicted to alcohol, your whole group of friends is alcoholic. You have to be in that space where if you love yourself, you don't want to fall into that addiction, isn't it? Or you see somebody going into that and you tell them because you love them that don't go into that group, it's not healthy for you. That's self-sabotage, because obviously the person is abusing themselves in some way, isn't it? Abusing their body in some way, getting into that addiction. So if you love yourself, would you put yourself into this addictive energy? No, you wouldn't, isn't it? So that awareness needs to be in us, that if I go into this, it's harming my body, it's harming myself. But you have to be aware, and you have to be sensitive, and you have to be at that level where you feel worthy enough of withdrawing. You feel worthy enough that, no, this addiction is definitely harming me. It's not something which I need to go into. Why? Because I love myself, I love my body, and I don't want to inflict this harm on myself. But a lot of times people just lose it and they feel, forget it, I'm just enjoying this, and they're not really in that phase of understanding the consequences of it, because it's just such a temporary high, or just a temporary, that temporary high that they feel at that time, and they feel miserable afterwards. But the body gets so addicted to it because this is very, very low vibration, very, very low vibration. And when we say we validate, or when we say we love ourselves, what is it? We are coming into a high vibration, isn't it? It's a vibration of love. It's a vibration of gratitude. It's a vibration of joy, happiness. So many times when you were talking about validation, so many times people, feel that their relationships are breaking off because the other person is not respecting them or validating them. And they just feel so depressed because all they want is that the person should appreciate them, should accept them the way they are, or agree, like pull you up, support you, give you that love, and you're not getting it. So you go into that depression, feeling that I'm just not worthy of this love. That's when you need to turn around and say, no, the other person may feel you're not worthy of love, but you definitely feel worthy of love, isn't it? So you feel and connect to that love that you have within yourself for yourself. Drop the need for external people to tell you that you deserve love, or you're good, or you're bad, whatever. Shift your focus from outside to inside.
Sujata, would it also mean making yourself a priority?
Absolutely, 100%. 100% making yourself a priority. And again, I mean, I want you to understand that there's a subtle line. It's not really going into an arrogant space. I'm not making myself a priority because I'm, I feel, no, I'm everything. I'm making myself a priority because I too exist. I too have certain needs. I too have certain things which I wish to, do for myself, not keep waiting for others to do for myself. So you have to make yourself a priority. Even in relationships, you have to step back because you have to make yourself a priority. You know that I'm being abused in this relationship. I'm not going to let myself be a doormat and everybody come and walk over me. Preserve your energy, step back, as hurtful as it might be, as traumatic or disruptive it might be at that point in your life. You definitely have to make yourself a priority because you are that priority. And actually, you need to just understand that when you make yourself a priority, the whole world will turn around and make you a priority. Stop waiting for others to make you their priority. You make yourself your priority. You start respecting yourself and you see how others turn around and respect you. Yes, Arjun? Please share.
Hi, Sujata. I wanted to share something you said about watching a movie alone. And that sort of made me think of something. And, basically of being lonely versus being alone. And the difference between that. Because for me, I realized what you say is very correct. That I don't want to be by myself if I'm in a space where I'm not liking myself. Because then I don't want to be alone with my thoughts.
Yeah.
But I also found the way for me to develop introspection and self-love has been to force myself to spend time alone without a phone, without TV, and sit with myself. And that's when it's uncomfortable because negative thoughts come up. But I think it's by breaking through the negative thoughts that then I can sort of proceed along with loving myself. Because it's what you said, that we want to spend time with others. Why not spend time with yourself? And the only way to learn that is by actually spending time with yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hi, Sujata.
Hi, Manisha.
I would also like to share an incident that a few days ago, I wanted to go for a shopping and there was nobody to, come along with me. So I decided to go alone, and you won't believe, only this thought, yeah, I can go alone and I can enjoy alone. And I went there, and that day was the best day of my life because I was there in that mall for almost 4 or 5 hours. I don't know how many dresses I have, tried, and because there was nobody, so I had all the time in the world. So it was actually, I enjoyed a lot, and all thanks to you.
You must do that more often. All of us
Yeah.
must do that more often.
Yeah.
And
because
it's not just like you have to do a routine or something. Just go out without any agenda, without any plan. Yeah.
And when you go with somebody, you're always there, that thought is there that the person is waiting, you have to hurry up because the other person is getting bored. But that day, all these thoughts were not there. I was free. So thanks to you.
Thank you, Manisha.
Thank you.
What a wonderful
Thank you.
sharing. Yeah, just small things, they cost nothing, but they give you so much joy. They give you so much confidence, isn't it? They
That's
give you
true.
so much confidence. And we are actually so conditioned to be doing things with somebody that we are not, we feel so scared that I will not be able to do this on my own. But you can. I mean, a lot of times, we people who are working and traveling and all is different, but we are only used to going for holidays or traveling with family or with somebody. But when I traveled for the first time alone, I was like totally paranoid. I never thought I could travel or be out on my own. But it's so much fun because it's like you're totally on your own, go wherever you want to, and slowly you start developing that confidence and you start enjoying it. Of course, it's a lot of fun to travel and to be out with others also. But take that time for yourself so that you can just do the things that you want to do. You're not answerable to anybody. You don't have to keep looking at whatever other people are saying or doing, or, you know, that is fun in its own way. But this is also very, very important.
Yes.
You must do these things. Just go where you want to go, order what you want to eat, and just do what you want to do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sujata, also, I want to add on, one more thing. Like, I've always had like, when I started doing things alone, say go out for lunch alone, it was always like, my hesitation was, what will other people think at the restaurant who I don't even know? They'll think I'm a loser. They'll think I don't have any friends.
Yeah.
And that took a lot to overcome. But then I realized that there are people I don't know, and why should and they may not even be thinking that I am projecting
exactly
what they'd be thinking. And
that's exactly what we were speaking about last week. You know, we feel that, oh, I'm not looking good. This dress is not suiting me. This color is not suiting me. Everybody would be thinking this. They'll be thinking this. But actually, people are not thinking. They have better things to think about than to think about what you are wearing and what you are carrying, because it's really only in your own mind. And when we go with that thought and we're sending out those vibrations, you will definitely see that, you know, those people will turn around and point that out to you. But if you are not even looking good and you know the dress is not suiting you, but you go with that confidence, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's only a dress which is not suiting me. Sometimes it suits, sometimes it's not. It's fine. Nobody will point it out to you. Nobody will point it out to you, because you are feeling and carrying that joy, that energy, that happiness. That's what people are attracted towards, not what you're wearing and not what you're carrying. Of course, it has its own, you know, it has its own, it adds to the whole thing, but it's not important. And nobody is thinking about what you're doing or what you're carrying. And it's only your own mind judging yourself. That's where your self-confidence and self-esteem are low, isn't it? So break all these rules. It's fine to break all these rules. Don't live such a conditioned, confined, tight life. Just go out, enjoy. What does it take? What does it take? Nothing at all. So many times, and how much, like how many opportunities we have lost in life, only thinking that, oh, this has to be done with somebody. When they'll come, this will happen. When she'll say, then this will happen. No, just step out and do what you want to do. And see how much you'll enjoy that. And that happiness will actually amplify so much into whoever, in so many ways in your life, won't it?
Correct. Interestingly, a lot of people think self-love as selfish also, because I think they're still yet to understand, and our Indian upbringing is pretty much very different, that sab kuch hai is for others. Like you always say, you have to fill your cup first.
Yeah.
Which I love that example when you say of the air hostesses, that you have to put your own oxygen mask first to let help others.
Absolutely, you have to. Because how will you give love? How will you share love? You'll only give what you have. If I'm full of anger, I can only give anger. If I'm full of love, I will only give love. If I'm full of joy, that's what will radiate out of me, isn't it? If I'm maybe showing outside that I'm very happy, but internally I'm just brewing resentment and anger and hatred, it'll come out. It will come out. I can only give what I have, and that goes for anybody and everybody, isn't it? If you don't have love, how will you give it? So fill yourself with that love and see how it just radiates out of your body, out of your presence in every aspect of your life. I actually thought of a meditation which is called it's a meditation where you shower yourself with love. Should we do that? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Just going to mute you all. Okay. So settle down in your spaces. And connect to the biggest supporter that you have, your own breath. Nobody's breath gives you life. Nobody's breath gives you love. It is your own breath that supports you all the time. And just know that you are the most amazing person in your life. You do not need to be anything more or do anything more to be worthy of your love. You just receive the love that you deserve. And you need to just shower yourself with love without any conditions, without any limits, just with immense grace and tenderness. So just settle yourself, inviting your beautiful body to relax in a nice, comfortable position. Gently close your eyes and shift your focus inwards. Listen to the sound of your breathing, inhalation and exhalation. Every breath bringing in fresh energy, fresh prana. Feeling the rising and falling of your chest as you inhale and exhale. Lovingly scan your body. Just notice your body gently releasing any tension. Relax your shoulders. Relax your jaws. Relax your arms. Relax your chest. Relax your legs, your hand, your feet. And just feel yourself falling into a deeper state of comfort. Deep into relaxation as you settle into this space which is just full of love. The love that you are. Let's do a little visualization. Just imagine that you're standing in a patch of soft green grass. Just standing here all alone, totally safe. Just smell the fresh scent of the flowers and the beautiful smell of the earth all around you. Feel the sun warming your skin. You stand here peacefully in the safe place. The air all around just feels so marvelous as it dances with your skin. Feel the grass below your feet. Beautiful dew green in color, slightly wet. Feel the gentle ruffling of the leaves as the wind blows through them. Just take a nice deep breath in and let the fresh air fill your chest, expand your belly. And then gently exhale, just let yourself relax a little deeper into the space of love. Look up, and you see the clouds slowly rolling in. The sun suddenly seems to have disappeared. And the clouds are gently, slowly rolling in, full of droplets of water. And before you know it, these little droplets fall on your skin. Cool little refreshing raindrops falling gently on your skin. So as you stand in this beautiful field, just let your head fall back, your arms stretch out to the side. Open yourself to receiving this rain. We've all done this at different times in our lives. Just open your arms and receive this wonderful shower from the universe. As you feel the raindrops falling on your body, let yourself receive messages from the universe. Words you hear from inside of you that are being showered down on you from the universe. Showering you with love, just like the raindrops. Tell yourself these words. If you wish to, you can repeat them aloud in your space. Feel the raindrops stopping gently, telling you, I love you. I really, really love you. You are extraordinary. I love your body. I love your laughter. I love your tears. I love your fears. I love your ambition and your desire for ease. I love your ideas and your kind little heart. I love your mistakes and all the dark spots in your life. I love everything about you. And even though you're constantly evolving, shedding old habits, attitudes, or characteristics that no longer serve you, even though you're always a work in progress, I love you. I dearly, dearly love you, just the way you are. Just tell yourself, I really, really love you, just the way you are. Look at yourself here. Beautiful. Beautifully imperfect, maybe. Covered with these raindrops of love. Love for yourself. Know that you're worthy of every word, every drop, and that you're just beautiful the way you are. Keep receiving these wonderful showers, these showers of grace from the universe, telling you that you are just perfect the way you are. You are just lovable the way you are. Imperfectly perfect. So love yourself, enjoy yourself, for you are just unique. There is no one, there is no second one like you. So tell yourself, I love you. I really, really love you. Feel yourself embracing yourself with your own arms, knowing that you are just perfect the way you are. God made you that way, and God makes everything perfectly. There are no mistakes in God's plans. So know that you're just perfect and lovable the way you are. Feel these vibrations of love in every cell of your body. Feel these vibrations spreading through your entire body. Feeling this, knowing this, loving yourself just the way you are. Promise yourself that you love yourself just the way that you are. If you make mistakes, if you fail, you'll pick yourself up and you'll forgive yourself. Feeling that joy, feeling that peace, feeling that love. Very slowly and gently bring your awareness back into your beautiful body, into your beautiful space. Stretch your toes, move your fingers, and slowly and gently open your eyes. Thank you, thank you, thank you.